Hi Michael, I appreciate you've been asked this in various different ways, but with Champions League qualification secured and the implication that that can have on recruitment through the summer, I just wonder now, how quickly is clarity needed and what clarity is needed on your own future at the place?
Listen, clarity is important. I think moving forward, it's come the time of right at the end of the season where I think we finished strong, put ourselves in a good position, and obviously the situation of my role and what it looks like moving forward. I think it's the natural time. It was always spoke about towards the end of the season, if not the end of the season. So nothing's really changed, to be honest.
Why hasn't it changed though? I'm just thinking because you have got that Champions League qualification sorted out now.
Yeah, we have, but it's a matter of days ago, and we kind of got eyes on finishing the season strongly as well. So I understand the question, I understand the timing of it. But from my point of view, right at this stage, it's just putting the boys in a place to finish the season strongly. And then, as I've said all along, and I'm calm about it, it'll get sorted out when it's going to get sorted out. Some of it's out of my hands, so we'll see what happens.
Do you have a view of what happens further down the line, though? Because I'm thinking Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville were debating the other night who has the brighter future. And the point was raised that the squad now has to deal with playing games every 3 or 4 days. So what work do you feel is perhaps needed on the squad? Or is it well equipped enough at the moment to deal with that jump in the schedule that they will face next season?
Yeah, there's definitely different challenges within that. I think largely the boys are used to playing more games than we have done over a period of time, over a number of years, and I think this has been a little bit unique in many ways of not being in the cup competitions and extended period of no games and things, and we've had to adjust a little bit. So there's going to certainly be a change and a shift with it. I think that's just part of evolving the squad and growing the squad, and a little bit more experience, some younger players, more experience, and it'll be a natural step to take that one. And we'll as a club, we'll face that and face it head on.
Michael, you've spoken a lot. We've asked you a lot about the youth teams and the academy. You played in a Youth Cup final. You played at West Ham's ground. You played at Coventry's ground. What's your view of what's happened this week? Because a lot of people seem to be quite upset that the Youth Cup final's not being played in the main stadium.
Yeah, I'm disappointed, to be honest. I think getting to the Youth Cup final always, or seems to have always been, a thing where you play the main stadium, and it's such a showcase event for players of that age group, and so we're disappointed. I think I've had some amazing memories, some of my best memories in that competition of playing with your close mates, and it's a shame that it hasn't worked out for whatever reason. But listen, for the boys to go there, it's a fantastic game. It's a great opportunity. I'm sure the game itself will be good, and I'm looking forward to going and watching and supporting the boys.
Just in terms of Saturday, Sunderland away, whenever you go there, do you think about the Aguero day? Because clearly that was a momentous day in Premier League history, but it must have been a pretty painful one for you guys stood on the side of the pitch and then the Sunderland fans kind of cheering when you didn't win.
Yeah, I can remember that. Yeah, I've not forgot it.
I mean, what was that experience? That experience must be quite dispiriting in a way.
Yeah, obviously it was a one-off kind of feeling, and it wasn't during the game. It wasn't until after the game. I didn't really know exactly where the land was lying at that point. So it wasn't until we kind of walked towards the edge of the pitch and we had to deal with what was thrown at us. So it's in the past, but yeah, it definitely sticks in the memory.
Michael, I'm just wondering how you keep the team mentally out. That might seem a silly question, but you've achieved your main objective. You could be forgiven for a lot of the players having half an eye on what's coming up in the summer. What is the messaging to the group?
Pride, responsibility, playing for this great club, great supporters, really good togetherness within the group as well, and it's about improving and evolving all the time as well. So as I said, over the last week or so, in terms of the Champions League, it's a really good step. But that's not the end. That's not the end at all. So we want to keep improving. We want to finish strong, and understanding there's a little bit of of a feeling of games to go, and it does get right to the end of it. Maybe it does change slightly, but it doesn't in terms of us preparing for the game and wanting to do well, and whoever plays play well and try and win the game.
You've had a very settled side throughout the majority of your time in charge. There's been some players around the periphery that I'm guessing have been very, very important squad members, but would you like to give them minutes, more opportunities before the end of the season to show that kind of support back to them?
I think every player in the squad's has been absolutely fantastic, I have to say. And yeah, some have played a lot more than others, and I understand from a professional and a playing point of view, it can be difficult, but the togetherness and the support that the players have shown, certainly each other, is great to see. It's what we need, within the group, and that's part of the challenge of doing a lot of training and not having as many games as we would have liked is the balance that we've had to kind of make the most of, really. So yeah, coming into to these games, it's something we're aware of. I think it's something that we're really keen on playing well and still trying to get good results as well, though. But yeah, it's definitely something to be aware of.
Stu? Michael, Sunderland, I guess, won't want a memorable season for them just to sort of peter out. So I just wonder what you expect from them this weekend.
Got an awful lot to play for. I think it's very tight. I think is it to 6 to 12th maybe is really, really tight. 3-4 points. So I think they've got a lot to play for, and they've had a fantastic season. To not easy to come and get promoted and to stay in. To stay in the league first and foremost has proven difficult over recent times, but to be in the top half and to be within touching distance and getting in Europe as well is full credit to the season that they've had.
Just one on the Youth Cup final that was mentioned there. It's going to be less than 1,000 United fans there. There was 67,000 last time we were in the Youth Cup final. It was a great experience for the players. Is that something that should be looked at again? Could be looked at again? Or...
Yeah, I was at that game. The Forest game. So special night, to see the stadium full for a game like that was kind of what you'd hope, really, for that. But it is what it is. There's nothing, from what I know, that can be done about it. It's kind of agreed, and hopefully, as years go by, then it can be flipped into the main stadiums.
Andy?
As a Geordie, I won't ask you any more about Sunderland, but how differently would you operate, or could you operate, if you got the job full-time here? Are there certain things that maybe you could do if you're a full-time manager that you can't do if you're an interim manager?
It's a good question. I think I've said from the start, though, that I've never approached a day here in terms of any short-term decisions. Whether that's different from the outlook of others, I don't know. But from mine and certain the staff, I think we've definitely made decisions for the longer term for the group, and individually as players, and how we treat them and try to help develop them, the squad. So I don't think really it would change the approach for how I've tried to go about things. Again, I understand that it might be for other people looking towards me, maybe, or towards us, whether that's players, whether that's supporters, whether that's you lot sitting here. I don't know how that changes, but maybe we'll get to see. I don't know, but certainly from my point of view, I think I've done it, gone about it in a way that I feel is the right way to do it.